The wicked forget their names immediately after death, and therefore are beaten with great force. At first, when a person is buried, his body is like an inanimate stone and feels nothing whatsoever. But when the tomb is sealed, the judgment of Chibet Ha-Kever begins for him. The angel of death comes to him and sits upon his grave. The angel of death comes to him and sits upon his grave. They asked Rabbi Eliezer, in the name of Maseket Chibet Ha-Kever. He does this in order to overshadow him and to make a separation between him and the other dead, so that they will not be pained by what is being done to him. And he says, and sits upon his grave. Then the angel strikes him with his hand in mockery and humiliation. By doing so, he causes the portion of the Nefesh, the lower soul which remains with him in the grave, to enter into him. The dead person is then given the power of speech. Immediately the angel says to him, "Rise! Tell me your name!" The dead person answers, "It is revealed and known before the one who spoke, and the world came into being, that I do not know what my name is." Immediately the angel brings into his body the portions of Ruach and Neshama as well, and subjects him to judgment. The angel asks the dead person his name, because the register of his sins is in the angel's hand, and those sins are written under his name. The angel wishes the sinner to see the notes in his hand, written under his name by the authority of the Most High, so that he may acknowledge the justice of the judgment imposed upon him. But the dead person forgets his name. This is because through his sins the holy letters fly away from his name. Such is the way of the wicked. So it was with Ephron at first. He is written with the name Ephron, including the letter Vav. As it is said, Ephron was sitting among the children of Heth. Genesis 23:10. But after he weighed out money from Abraham, his name is written missing a letter. And Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the hearing of the children of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money, with the merchant. So too it was with Jehonadab, from the moment he joined himself to Amnon, son of King David, and gave him wicked counsel in the matter of Tamar. He lost the letter from his name, as it is said. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, son of Shimeah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very wise man, and he said unto him, "Why art thou, being the king's son, so lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me?" And Amnon said unto him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." So too, with every person who dies, the The angel tests him in this matter and asks him to state his name. If the dead person is wicked, he is unable to state his name. When a single letter has been taken from his name, what remains is no longer his name. Moreover, sometimes what remains no longer forms any word at all, as with the names Noah, Dan, or Gad. If one letter is removed from them, what is left has no meaning. Thus, when the dead person does not know his name, it is a sign to the angel of death that this dead person is wicked. He subjects him to judgment and beats him with a harsh beating. This is because forgetfulness is a sign of an abundance of Kalipa. And there is no greater forgetfulness than that of a person who does not remember his own name. Because of the abundance of Kalipa within him, he is struck with a harsh and heavy beating. A dead person who remembers his name is not so treated. He is beaten only with a light and weak beating. Everything depends upon the degree of wickedness. The more they acted wickedly and caused others to sin, and the less they did during their lives to separate the Kalipa from themselves, the greater is their toil in separating it after death. Corresponding to this, they forget their names. And this is the secret of what they said. The reason that the wicked lose the letters of their names. The reason that the wicked lose the letters of their names. The reason that the wicked lose the letters of their names. The reason that the wicked lose the letters of their names is that a person's name is the name of his soul. Thus, the letters of his name are the essence of his soul. Thus, the letters of his name are the essence of his soul. This is as it is said in the Torah concerning the person who exalts himself in his heart. And the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. The meaning is the cutting off of his soul from its root. So too, it is said concerning Boaz. Moreover, Ruth the Moabites, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren. The name of the dead means the soul of the dead person. The wicked, through their sins, cause the letters corresponding to their souls to be erased and broken, therefore they do not know their names after their deaths. Thus is fulfilled in them, but the name of the wicked shall rot. Proverbs 10:7. The Kabbalist brought a useful counsel, so that a person will not forget his name after his death. Every day he should combine the letters of his own name with the letters of the word neshama, soul. For example, if his name is Yitzchak, he should form before himself an arrangement such as Nun, Yod, Shin, Zadi, Mem, Chet, Kuf. It is also good for each person to find a verse from the Torah, the prophets, or the writings whose first letter is the same as the first letter of his name, and whose final letter is the same as the final letter of his name. For the name Yitzchak, for example, the verse is: He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and broke their bonds asunder. Should keep this verse constantly fluent in his mouth, and it will be of benefit to him by reminding him in a time of distress. Reciting this verse is also beneficial, so that he will not forget his name when answering the angel who asks him in the grave, "Tell me your name!" It is good always to say this verse before the second recitation of "May the words of my mouth be acceptable" at the end of the Shemoneh Esrei prayer. If a person has two names, he should say two verses corresponding to them, or one verse whose first letter corresponds to the first letter of his first name, and whose final letter corresponds to the final letter of his second name.